welcome again to our 8-part series featuring Black educators in the Bootheel. My name is Don Jordan. I am the Program Educator Assistant for Lincoln University Cooperative Extension in Carruthersville, Missouri. It is my pleasure to introduce you to Damarion Robinson.
Hello, I'm Damarion, and I am a senior at Hayti High School. It is my pleasure to introduce Mr. Tyriq McAdams. Tell us a little about yourself and your position.
I'm a teacher here at Hayti High School. I teach JAG. JAG stands for Jobs for America's Graduates, and what we do, we try to gear our students towards their career path, whether that's getting them ready for college, whether that's getting them ready for just the workforce or tech school. The main goal is just so they can go into the real world and be prepared for what they're getting ready to face. So that's what I do.
Do you have additional roles other than in the classroom?
Not yet. Me and my wife, we are planning to start a mentoring program. We're getting that squared away and trying to get things ready for that. Besides that, I'm a husband and a father to my kids, so those are my main roles right now.
What fueled your desire to be an educator?
I would have to say not having what I wanted to see when I was in the classroom. Not being able to have teachers that relate to me as a black student. It really plays a role in being able to pay attention and really relate to the person that's teaching you.
When did you know you wanted to pursue education?
Being honest, I never thought I wanted to be a teacher. No, I knew I never wanted to be a teacher. When I was in high school sending these seats, no, I could never do what I put some of these teachers through, But when I became grown and I went off to college and did different things, I just realized that we need more positive male figures in the educational field. So that was really the main thing that I was thinking about. I wanted to make a difference, impact and inspire my community. So that's the reason why I came back. So to be a positive role model to the kids here in this community.
Is there a mentor who you would identify as someone who encouraged you to pursue education?
Not necessarily. My mother was a teacher. She taught here for 18 years. I looked at her as someone that was great at their job. She helped change a lot of kids' lives. But like I said, I still did not see myself being a teacher until, I don't know, one day it just hit me all of a sudden that this was for me. So as far as a mentor, I would probably say my mom, but it was more so just, I believe it was God, honestly.
Who are your biggest influences?
My biggest influence are my parents. I would say I had one of the greatest set of parents that someone could ask for. Whether they were strict on me or they let me do certain things, the things that they taught me really grounded me and got me ready for the real world. I couldn't ask for better parents. So without them, I wouldn't be the man who I am today.
Did you have any black teachers when you were in school? How did that make you feel?
Yes, I remember having a couple black teachers, one in elementary and one in junior high. The messed up part about it is I took them for granted. I didn't realize how important it was to have black educators. I looked at them like everyone else. It wasn't until I got grown that I felt like I should have taken advantage of them being a black educator.
What are steps you took early in life that helped you today? Were you involved in school and community groups?
Yes. So my mom, she worked here as a teacher, so I had to have good grades. So I was in National Honor Society. I made that my duty to be in the National Honor Society. I was in Spanish Club, Beta Club. But the biggest thing, like you said, the community, I was in the Boys and Girls Club growing up. My mom and Mr. Robinson, they both taught the Boys and Girls Club. And being a kid, I didn't realize how important that was. I was just doing something that my mom told me to do. But being older, I realized that it was something vital to have that organization because it took kids from doing bad stuff, you know, and turned it into them doing something positive. I remember us playing, you know, kickball in the field and different stuff like that. So today, we don't really have any organization around here to keep the kids to do positive stuff. So that's actually something that I feel like that we need, and that's also why me and my wife plan on starting this mentoring program to help the youth, you know, to turn their negative things into positive.
Did you like school growing up?
Oh, I love school growing up. School was fun. High school was fun. I had a great time. I learned not what I felt like I should have learned, but a lot of that came from home though. What I didn't learn at school, I learned from home because of my parents. Like I said earlier, my parents really taught me, and so I'm very appreciative of it.
What are some of the biggest obstacles you faced in becoming an educator?
I would say starting out as an aide and seeing the difference the way an aide is treated versus a teacher versus a principal and all the way up to the superintendent. It's really levels on how people look at you and respect you. So I came in not knowing, it's almost like a person that worked at a factory. You got people that work at the factory that belongs to the company, and then you have like a temp agency. People look at people that work at the temp agency as kind of like little, like they're nothing. You know, so that's what put me in the mind frame, and that's actually what motivated me to want to go back to school and get my degree.
What did your path to become an educator look like?
Yes, so that path was very, very rocky. When I first started, like I said, I was an aide, but I started out with 57 credits. And so what actually motivated me to want to become a teacher is people, like I said, people just would look down on me. You know, I couldn't get the respect that I wanted, whether they, you know, people said it to my face or not. There's certain energies you can feel, you know, that I can tell whether you're for me or against me. And so that actually, people being against me actually motivated me to want to go further in life. And so my career path, it wasn't a traditional career path. I did not gear myself towards teaching. I changed my major in college so many times. It looks very different than your traditional teacher. I didn't prep myself to be a teacher or anything. It was when I got older in life that I really found out that this is something that I want to do. So that's why I try to tell my students all the time, hey, know what you want to do now and prepare yourself for it so you can have an easier path instead of not understanding what you want to do and then going this way, going that way, going this way. You know, just prepare yourself first and you'll be good.
Do you feel there are benefits in having a diverse school staff?
Absolutely. Because in the school system, you're going to have different students. And each student should be able to relate to at least one teacher. The thing about us is Hayti is, 95% black, and we don't have a lot of black educators. So, you know, it's very important to have those black educators to be able to relate to those black students to help them not only get through school, but get through life, period. You know, it's a very different culture. So it's very important.
How do you incorporate social justice principles in your teaching?
Wow. Through conversation. I'm very transparent with my students. I like to teach them about how things work in the real world. When we see things happening in the world, we often just talk about it through conversation. Talk about the do's and the don'ts, what we should do, what we shouldn't do, how can we correct that situation if someone did do something wrong. Even when we talk about police brutality, we often talk about, do we feel like they were in the right or in the wrong, and how to avoid that. So I'm very transparent, and I always talk with my kids with conversation.
What advice would you give to those, especially African American youth who wants to pursue education as a career?
I would say do it, because we need it. It's a necessity. I do feel like the educational system is failing our students, just me being brutally honest. So the more people we can get in here to relate to the kids, the better I feel like the kids will want to learn and want to do more in life. So it's a necessity that we need and we have to do.
Are there specific things that you do to be a role model for African American youth?
Yes, I try to be as positive as possible. My students will tell you anytime they're going against each other or trying to get into one another, I'm always stepping in, hey, let's chill out, let's not do that. Because I want us to be united, I want us to stay positive towards each other because we need each other.
What else would you like to share with us today?
The main thing that I would like to share is just the importance of being black in the educational field. It's such a vital key point that we need, that I want the world to know that, I'll say this, until I got into the school system, I didn't know how the school system worked. As far as my knowledge, I looked at the school system as just being a student. So when I became grown and when I started working in the school, I realized that we really need more positive people to come back home to the community and help our kids. So, like you said in the question earlier, we have to get more black educators to come back home and be positive to our kids. So that would be the message that I would love to give.
Where did you attend college?
I attended college at Murray State back in 2010. I attended Murray State for 2.5 years, and I started as my major being OSHA. So, but I found out that that wasn't what I was really interested in. Then I changed my major to music business because I play the drums, but I found out that's not what I wanted to do. So with me not being interested in my majors, I ended up, just not really caring too much about the academic part of school. So I really wound up being on academic probation, and then it went from being on academic probation to actually being academically suspended from Murray State. So I was suspended from Murray State for 2 years, and then like 6 or 7 years later is when I finally went back to school. And so I went back to school at SEMO. And believe it or not, I actually got my degree in general studies. Now it is, to be a teacher, it's, you can take what they call an untraditional route. So you can have a bachelor's degree in whatever major, but you can get certified through a different program. And so that's what I'm doing.
I appreciate you for coming and sharing your knowledge with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me today. This is one of an 8-part series featuring black educators in the Bootheel. Be sure to visit the Pima County 4-H Facebook page and the Bootheel 4-H YouTube channel for additional videos and more information about the 4-H program.